Gracias, Jose. He actually said, one day you will be CEO. And I said, I just got here. Don't even think about that. And here I am. And LADWP, the largest municipal utility in the nation, the second largest water utility in the nation. So I am running two utilities in one, if you think about the things that I deal with on a daily basis. And I bring that up because the water energy nexus, if it's not more present now, I don't know when it's going to be. Between AI and the need for water for AI and power for AI, but also what we had to deal with during the wildfires and how my job was constantly between the energy system and the water system and managing both at the same time. So I just want to thank you for having me here today. Sorry, I just ate, so. And because the word that keeps coming up for me is community. And it's been mentioned several times where we never really had a space where there was so many of us in one room talking about the same issues that is impacting directly our communities. And the only way that we can get this issue solved is through the communities that we represent and the communities that we build to ensure that our communities that we're representing are getting the services that they need. The equity portion of it is so critical on this. I also want to say that, the energy industry, I've been in it for many 2 decades almost. I've never seen it change this fast. And it's scary. It's scary for the utility executives because utilities had it good for a long time. It was a steady state. We grew steady. And now with the advent of electrifications, AI, and load growth, we have to change so quickly. And we've never really had to change this quickly. So not only are we managing a lot of new challenges, but also climate change is impacting the way that we do business. There's no longer blue sky days for utilities. Wildfires are here, you heard it, continue to increase the cost of service to our customers because we've got to mitigate risk. Climate change on weather. I've been in the job a week shy of 8 months when the fires hit LA. But before the fires hit LA in September of that past September, I had 7 days of unrelentless heat in LA. I had 100 degrees of weather day and night for 7 days. Anybody in the industry knows your transformers are going to start popping like popcorn, right? And it was all over the territory, and we couldn't give relief to our systems. So how we design our systems now is different than what we did in the past. It's not just about capacity. It's more about resiliency and reliability. And with that comes 3 things that I really want to talk about. One is resiliency, innovation, and equity. And they all go together. Resiliency, I'll be remiss not to talk about the wildfires. I'm the person to talk to about the California wildfires. Has been such a game changer for the city of LA, for DWP, for Edison, but for California. Because I bet you a lot of you don't know that public power does not participate in the wildfire fund. We don't. So if we are found liable, and we have over 1,000 lawsuits going against us right now for the California fire, for the LA fires, all of it is absorbed by either our ratepayers or the city of LA. That will bankrupt the city of LA, which means all the other services that our communities depend on are at risk. So this is not a discussion about who's going to pay for the risk mitigation, but who's going to pay for the viability of our communities. And so the conversations that we're having now, and DWP has taken a very strong leadership role on legislating what is going to be AB 254 and how it's going to impact our communities in the future, because the risk is real. And I don't think that anybody in their mind thought that a public power utility was going to be in this situation when the first wildfire fund was created, and here we are. And so changing the way that we're thinking about risk for California and how it's tied to affordability is so critical. And I'm going to bring that around with what are we doing differently. We've done so much since the fire started. We have completely changed the way we're designing our systems. We're undergrounding on our tier 3 areas. We're looking at technology to figure out where the next catastrophe is going to happen. And it's not just wildfire. We have earthquakes, we have heat, we have flooding, we have atmospheric rivers hitting it back to back to back. How are we going to harden the system? How are we going to use technology? How are we going to use AI, which is also a risk to our system, to manage the amount of capability and knowledge that we need to have to execute faster? We don't execute fast. We have to execute exponentially faster. And also manage the workforce of the future. Like many mentioned, there's just not a lot of people coming to the trades. They're just not. There's also not a lot of engineers coming through the schools. And so how do we attract and make this industry sexy again? And that's really, it's been one of the big ahas for me when I came into engineering, is that every day I'm solving a problem I didn't know I had. And that is the beauty of engineering, right? So that brings me to innovation. What is DWP doing for innovation? I mean, I'm very proud to say DWP has done big, big things for California. They built their own aqueduct back in the 1900s, which created the city of LA. They built they brought power into LA and grow the economy of LA. But today we're doing big projects like the Intermountain Power Plant project, which took LA from coal. We have 14% still of our energy mix coming from coal to 0. And that, we went from coal to 30% hydrogen blending on a 850 megawatt generation facility. That, I always say this is my blessing in disguise, is that because we're behind in some technologies, we get to leapfrog, right? And so we don't have to go through the steps and the growing pains. So we go from goals to hydrogen. Green hydrogen, by the way, we're making our own green hydrogen. We're storing it in salt caverns. And we're going to be officially blending as of March of this year. The only generation facility of this size in the world. And that's LA, right? We also deploy our ELAN solar plant with battery storage, which has 400 megawatts of solar and 300 megawatts of battery storage. It serves 7% of the load of LA. So today, LADWP is at 64% clean energy. And our goal is to be 100% by 2035. So we have still 10 years to get there, and we're at 64 with a very strong plan to achieve that. Is it gonna be easy? No. Is it gonna be linear? No. Is it gonna be predictable? No. Because when I took this job 20 months ago, to this day, today is my 20-month anniversary on the job. And dog years is like 14 years and some. I never thought I was gonna have a whole year of distraction from my clean energy goals, right? And so I couldn't stop moving the needle on the clean energy goals while I was rebuilding the system in Palisades and really understanding what are the new risks and how do we do things differently so we don't mitigate the effects of climate change in the future. Has been an interesting challenge of being present and in the future at the same time. I tell my team all the time, we're working to performance at the same time that we're transforming. And if you know the change curve, that's like the sweet spot where it gets really, really, really tough. And that's where we are. But the team is taking it on strides. And we continue to push for more renewable resources and more innovation coming into the basin, including a submarine cable, including space solar, you name it, we're looking at it because we have to bring so much more clean energy into the basin. We also own 20% of the transmission lines for the state. And so because of that, we're a very important player to California to move renewable energies, not just to the city of LA, but to the region. And we take that role very seriously because we believe that in order for California to win, collaboration is the key. And then lastly, I'm gonna talk about equity, which is the number one reason I came to LA. People ask me all the time, why did you take this job? And And I really wanted to help LA. I thought the goals were ambitious. But the number one reason I came to LA is because they were the only utility that had a plan called the LA 100 Equity Strategy Plan. They invested the money and the time to study what will it take to serve our customers equitable across the board. And we know because of the data on the plan that we have not served the customers equitable. In fact, we have unproportionally not served our underserved communities because they couldn't qualify for solar, because they couldn't afford EVs, because they don't own their houses. So why would they do energy efficiency? There's no benefit. So we have been working diligently to create programs to help those communities specifically first. Whenever we design a program, we ask the question, how are we serving our underserved communities first? And I'm happy to announce we have what I call our flagship program on energy efficiency. It's a win-win, where it's a comprehensive multifamily affordable retrofit program, where we do all of the energy efficiency and demand response measures, including EV charging stations, for tenant-owned, for rental properties. So it helps the owners and it helps the tenants. It helps the owners because it's 100% covered by us, and with multiple different grants and fundings, and they get an improvement in their properties, and the tenants benefit from the rate decreases of energy efficiency. That has been the vein of our existence on energy efficiency programs for any utility, is you can never get to the tenant community to do significant energy efficiency improvements. And in our underserved communities, it's our tenant communities. It's our brown and black communities in LA. And in LA, 64%, it's more than half of our communities are underserved. So if we don't do it, who's gonna do it? And we're gonna take it really, really seriously. We are also working on developing LA-owned charging stations that are with rebates for used EVs, significant rebates for used EVs, so that they can go to the station and be charged an EV residential rate, because then we will be able to program the stations when they log into their station. It's like if they own the house and they were able to benefit from that EV rate. We have to think this way in order to support our communities, or else this energy transition won't work. I would say the last 20 months have been a blessing from experience and growth. I've done really, really tough jobs in my life, and I was supposed to give you a little bit of background so you understand where I'm coming from. Born and raised in Puerto Rico, went to college at the University of Puerto Rico for a mechanical engineering degree. Yeah, HSI, and I was a member of SHIP there. But everybody was. Yeah, I was a member of SHIP, and it was like the cool thing to do, because when we're surrounded by Hispanic, you're just in community, right? And so we all were part of SHIP. I didn't know the importance of SHIP until I came to the States. Because when I was the only one in the room as the only female Latina engineer, the one that sounded different, the one that looked different, it wasn't until I found my SHIP community that I was able to belong and be part of something bigger. Because in Puerto Rico, I was just Puerto Rican, right? So my background is, I've been in the industry for over 20 years now, but I also just retired from the Coast Guard as a commander. Yeah, thank you. And my background was in emergency management. So when the fires happened, and I had many people from the industry call me and say they were praying for me, they were thinking of me. I and LADWP have two choices. Either believe what TikTok, X, or YouTube was saying about me, or believe what my community taught me when I was in engineering school, when I was a member of SHIP, when I was a member of the Coast Guard, which is you put your big pants on and you go to work. So let's go to work. Thank you.